Hey everybody, it's November 12th, 2007. I am Sonic Sons, and I'm making up for my lack of videos this last couple of weeks by doing more than one video in a day, which really isn't that big a deal for me historically, but as of recently I haven't been doing anything at all. Why? Because of these random computer problems, which I'm now going to rant about a bit. I don't know how many people will care, but hey, great thing with the internet. If you don't care, click on some other website. I can't possibly be taking up your time. So I have a Logitech quickcam Ultravision Special Edition, which is like 130 bucks, and it's the most expensive webcam that Logitech sells. And I've got an HP Pavilion something or other DV5000. Whatever that means. Whatever. It's running Windows XP, and it's running on it's got dual boot Windows XP and Ubuntu, the latest version of Ubuntu 7.10. That's Gutsy Gibbon. And I've had some problems. So I got this camera a few months ago, like May 28th, and I fiddled around for a bit on some weird little sound things I had, but I got it eventually working just fine. And then I started doing my videos. I started doing a lot of videos. And overall, the webcam served me quite well. I log on, I turn it on, it works, right? But a few times it's had these weird problems where, like, as I've alluded to or described before, these various things, this is kind of a recap. I did, like, the thing tells me I need an update. So like, oh, okay, update camera software. And I do that, and then suddenly there's no audio. There's no audio. Like, oh. Okay, so I fiddle and fiddle and fiddle, do like the audio tuning wizard, and it's like, cannot detect your microphone. I'm like, well, it's built into the camera. How hard could it be? And I end up having to reinstall it. You notice I have the disc sitting like right here, so every time I need to reinstall it, I can. So I install it by putting that disc in the CD drive, which, by the way, the CD drive doesn't always work. Dang it! And this is a problem with, apparently, my hardware, because at random times, on both my operating systems, the CD drive will disappear from the face of the earth. Sometimes, like, even while I'm running it. Like, I go to my computer, it's like, CD drive is there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then later I go to my computer later, and it's just not listed. It's not even like there's an error, like, your CD drive mysteriously disappeared. It has been evaporated. Just not there. You try to put any sort of disk in it, nothing happens. Try to burn it with it, nothing happens. Try to do anything, nothing happens. I work on both my OSs, even on Ubuntu, just like there's nothing there. No error, no nothing, and it's like, oh, I don't have a CD drive. Okay, that's been going on for a few months. And I'm thinking now that the problem might be overheating. I read... Well, I mean, this thing's only like a year old, right? But, well, I read, like, you shouldn't actually have a laptop on a cloth surface or any sort of soft thing, because, like, somehow that helps, like, dust and stuff get in there over time. I'm like, oh... Because I totally have this thing on my lap all the time. I'm just, like, in my bed, and I got, like, the laptop, and I'm just, like, typing up, looking up random stuff, and then, like, playing the Wii at the same time. Yeah, it's interesting. So maybe that's something to do with it. My suspicions on that continued from the fact that in the last few weeks, I've had a couple of times when the thing randomly rebooted on me. Yeah. Granted, it was a nice reboot. It was like a software reboot where everything shuts down and then goes to BIOS and then comes back. But I totally didn't tell it to reboot there. I had no program that told it to trigger reboot. I think maybe it was running hot. And then I was noticing how sometimes the fan kicks in really loud, and I think, oh, maybe I have a heating issue. So then I looked in to see, like, about my warranty. And, yeah, the warranty is a year long, and this thing's like, 15 months old now. Dang it. And I've been having problems for like 6 months, so I should have thought of this earlier. But I totally didn't. Thing with warranties. Just like I have my hard drive. Remember that? And they're like, oh, can you get my data back? And the guy's like, well, I'm going to have to break open your hard drive, and that's going to void your warranty. I'm like, oh, great. Which is why you have a double backup. That's what you need. So I have a Seagate external hard drive and Mozy online backup service. So the Seagate craps out on me, I can get a new one via warranty and still have my data. Which is nice. Anyway, during this whole thing, by the way, I'm glad that I still have my Seagate because okay, first of all, I have, like, you know, these computer problems in general, and some of them, the CD thing contributes to the camera thing, right? And then I started having camera troubles. So I started a video, alright, and I just recorded this whole thing. It wasn't one that I posted. But I look back on it, and it starts off just fine. Like 10 or 20 seconds, like the audio is just great, and then like this weird sort of bubbly noise comes in. And you can hear that on my video called Dang Audio. Like, what the freak is this? You know, it'd be make more sense if there was like static or just no audio, but there's like this kind of a bubbly thing. Like, okay, I don't know what that is. By the way, I can't find any advice on this anywhere that I've looked. I go to like the Logitech site and I like Google it and I like, no, Logitech doesn't have a lot of anything. Nothing on the help files, nothing, those settings can change. Not a whole lot of settings to be changed, you know. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. So I end up like uninstalling and reinstalling, and that doesn't work. And then like I do the update after the reinstall, and that doesn't work. It's still bubbly. That was the thing. I remember I had uninstalled and reinstalled it, so it's at the old version now. It does the bubbly thing. Alright, it has a weird audio problem, so I upgrade the software thinking, oh, maybe that's what the upgrade is for. And then it still has that same problem. And then, like, I uninstall again, reinstall again, decide to leave it on the old version, and, like, once in a while here it would actually work. They're like, oh, it's working for one now, and then, like, on the next video, oh, wait, never mind. So I'm leaving it on the old version, and then that old version crashes my entire computer to blue screen. I know you're thinking, blue screen? Why aren't you using Linux? Because Linux doesn't run my webcam. Dang it. Have you even looked up, like, you know, Google, you know, webcam that works on Linux? And what you get is, like, how to configure your webcam to work on Linux. I'm like, no! I just want to buy something that definitely works on Linux. Because speaking of the Linux thing, I've tried it. I take this thing, I plug it in, I do Camerama webcam viewer. It's on Ubuntu, right? And it's like, you know, cannot find device. I'm like, oh, okay. And there's a thing called EasyCam you can get, which is supposed to, like, you know, get the proper drivers for you. I'm like, okay, so I do EasyCam. I'm like, do this thing, and, like, I think it's done something, and then I do, you know, Camerama webcam viewer, which is the only webcam viewer I can find, and then, you know, device cannot be found. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I found the story, I think it was on Dig or something, like, one man writes 267 drivers for webcams. I'm like, great, I can get a driver. So I went to, like, the site, and I eventually found, like, 3 different files, and I wasn't sure which one I really needed, but among these 3, I was certain to get what I needed, one way or the other. So I download all these, I install all these, I run camera, webcam viewer, nothing. I run the EasyCam, nothing. Camera, nothing. Nothing. When I run EasyCam, it actually says, like, you know, choose among this list, what is your device? And, like, it's all the devices, apparently, that are plugged into my computer. So it really just detects, like, the external hard drive and the camera, it notices that it's a Logitech quickcam ultravision, all that. I'm like, great, apparently you know what I'm talking about. Click, click. And then, I don't know, does it do anything? Does it, I don't know,